Alright, we had some homework, which is vocabulary words from Surah Al-Kahf. Alright. Anzala, Mr. Naeem. Don't cheat, don't look. Anzala.
To reveal?
Reveal. Ja'ala.
Jala to was that part of our vocabulary?
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, Jala. He made or
Qayyiman.
that's because I knew that.
Standing.
But it wasn't part of
Straight.
Anzara.
Anzara.
Qayyiban liyunzir, warn. You were not here.
I wasn't here either.
Alright.
Right, I saw the video.
So we're going to continue Surah Al-Kahf.
Inshallah.
And we are going to, every time we're going to try to build 5 vocabularies, but we're going to continue trying to understand the words, then understand the derivatives, and the verb, the subject, the object, and what type of a noun is present, is past, what type of a noun, all that stuff. So let's take ayah number 4 or where are we?
We're here. 3.
Okay. وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا. Okay, we said أنذر is to warn. Yundir. Okay, what does yundir now mean? So we said anzara, we took the past, and we said it is anzara. Now we took the alif, and we made it a ya. What did we say when you make the first letter a ya?
That's the present tense?
A present tense, and who's the subject?
I. No. That's I, isn't it?
I and
I or am.
Alright?
It's he.
The hamza a. That for I. So ضرب أضرب. يضرب is for he. تضرب is for she.
Forgot.
Right? وينذر. So he warned. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is the one. So it's a warn, and the subject is a he. And it's a present tense because we had the in the beginning. So we knew the tense, we knew the meaning, we knew the subject. Right? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Right? Yundar. Right? So what did we say yundar is? Omiga is? Alaykum. Let's do that. وَيُنذِرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدًا. وَيُنذِرَ. He warns. So we said andara is to warn. Now it's a present tense with the subject he. What did we say الَّذِينَ?
Those who
قَالُوا.
said.
Said.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a past tense.
So past tense. Who is the subject?
He.
Is it singular, plural, what?
Qalu.
Qalu. When we say we see the wow, that's a plural for men. Right?
Right.
You guys keep forgetting class 1, class 2, class 3. I don't know. Everything we're doing is a repetitive of those
Capacities.
Capacity planning.
Class 10 to the first 3 you missed.
We forgot.
Next one for the first one.
We are moving
So,
forward.
wow, Tareef is a group, usually 4 men. Home is a group of men, right? So these two, we're gonna see Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned those, and how can this be plural without this being a plural? Those who said. So if this is plural, this better be plural. You could have guessed.
And
right?
that qalu is past.
Past. Qala is past. So we added to it the waw
So that is
to make it a plural. Right? وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ. Okay, this is a vocabulary word now. اتخذ. That means he took. Okay, the real word is أخذ. Okay, the real word is أخذ. To take. أخذ يأخذ. Right? أخذ. You add to it the ta sometime to add to the meaning. So it's like أخذ is to take. اتخذ, he took someone. And it's the same meaning as take, but it has the more letter you add ta to many words to almost say it's more than one time. You know, so when you اتخذ ولد, when it's your son, it's kind of forever. It's not a single. So if I take his pen, that's أخذ. اتخذ is I took.
Permanently.
Almost like permanent. I almost like adopted him.
Nice.
Okay, it's almost takhada, which means adopt. Which actually reminds me of a session this Friday. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but I'll give it to you in a second. There is another way you could change the meaning. I will get to it. وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا. So اتخذ is a past tense. The subject is Allah. They say Allah. So here this ayah means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is warning, present tense, or warns those that said Allah has begotten a son. Right? وقالوا وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا. Okay, so our اتخذ or أخذ is our vocabulary word. You need to remember.
So takhadha is took, right?
Took. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken a son.
Okay. What is the other one?
The root is akhadha,
أخذ, to take.
which is the verb, right?
The verb.
Okay.
اتخذ is like begotten. You just added to it a little bit more emphasis. Okay, let's make it a little bit more fun. How can we make it more fun for you guys? Okay. Huh?
In our back home, Walid is father, and here
Okay, all right. No, this
What's
is
the
a good.
difference?
This is good. Ask those kind of questions. There is walad is a son. Walid is a father.
okay.
So you add the alif, it becomes a father. All right. Let's take lesson number 1. Walada, if we use the verb like kataba, walada is to born, to have a birth, give birth, right? Walid is the one who gave birth. Just like kataba is the one is to write, katib is the one that writes,
Right.
right? Remember when we add the alif,
It's the very first class.
the first class, we keep. Honestly, guys, what I taught you in the first 3 classes, if you just get it, the rest of your life, Arabic will become second nature. It is that. The rules are the same. With, I mean, 90% of the time it's the same. So you're still gonna be an A student even if you miss the 10%. All we're doing is here we just look. I said, what's the second letter? Walid, and we know if the second letter is an alif, is the one who did the act. Walid is the son. Walid is the one who got the son, who did the honors, right? So, so when you see the alif, what we said if you see the alif and the second letter, that's the one who did the act. If you see it as the fourth, that's what? That becomes the noun, like the noun of the act. So kataba, right? It becomes kitab, a book. Kataba is to write. So when we made the alif, no. All right, let's repeat the first class. Okay, kataba is the 3-letter word. If I put the alif in the second, as I did the work. If I put the alif as the third, it's a book. It's the name of the act. Kataba is to write. Kitab is the book that you wrote. So if the alif is the second one, I'm the one who did the writing. If the alif is the third, it means the noun, which is of the verb, which is kataba is to write. The noun is kitab, right? Or kitaba is writing. The noun. So all we did, if the alif is the second, or the alif, unless the alif is intrinsic, like qala, the alif is intrinsic, so it has a different rule. Okay,
that's like a 2-letter word, right? That's a 2-letter word.
It's really a 3, but it's a little bit more complicated, so I'm not going to explain it right now. So, but if you take anything that does not have the alif or the wa or the ya as intrinsic, like kataba, daraba, shariba, qatala, all that stuff, the rule is the same. Alif is second, means the person who did the act. Alif, the third, is the noun of the verb. It's as simple as that. If you do the third as a waw, it's the object that was done. Like kataba, maktub is something that was written. Daraba, madroob is the one that was hit. So if you put a meme and a waw as before the last one, that's the one that got the thing done to it. So recognizing, by just recognizing, all we said is alif, waw, ya, meme, and to double the second letter, which is called shadda, which is double the second letter. You do this combination, you got 10 different meanings, right? That was class number 1, right? So here, walada is to give birth. Walid is the one who gave birth. Walida is the one she gave birth. That's about it, right? All right. That's why we want to repeat. ما لهم به من علم. ما لا. And even though the lam is connected, I'm going to slightly disconnect it for a reason. ما لهم به من علم ولا لآبائهم. So I'm going to highlight this. All right, this is now your test. Somebody tell me everything I highlighted. Give me the first one I highlighted. La.
La is no.
No. La.
In the beginning,
This is a common thing with daisies. They don't differentiate between something that has an alif and something that doesn't. And this could be even for Americans. La was la.
oh, I see.
See, this one does not have an alif. This one does not have an alif. ولا لآبائهم ما لهم به له. This lam is called lam al-mulkiyah. Any time you see the lam connected to a noun, it means different ways. If it's connected to a verb, it means because. If it's connected to a noun, it means belongs to. Called lam al-mulkiyah. Something is mine. Okay, so ma lahum, they don't have, and we said hum is what?
They,
Plural.
Plural.
They don't have. See, the lam mean have, mulkiyah, belong to.
Ma is.
Why is what?
Ma means no.
No, no.
Oh, here, so.
No.
So ma is no.
Lam,
La is
have, or possess.
So Mahaza is, what is your name, right?
Hum, them. They don't have any knowledge. In it. See, this lam, when we see it connected to a noun, it means possess, to have. Something belongs. Li, mine.
Li, mine.
Lahu, his. Remember we said the ha, the ya, the ha, the home, right? We did that in a primary class, right? You add the L to it, it means something that belongs to he, him, her, them, me, all that stuff. So the lam by itself, connected to a noun, means to have, to possess, or to belong to. If it's connected to a verb, it means it's gonna because or for. It has third and fourth meaning, but I'm not gonna go into it. Actually, it probably has 24 meanings, but I'm not gonna go into that either. All right, but I use the 90% rule, right? Ma la. They do not have. This is the day. That is the day. This is have. This is don't. Right? Well, they don't have.
So whenever lam sits in front of another two words by itself, then that's what it means, have?
Just like here, لِآبَائِهِمْ, and to their parents. They don't have any knowledge in it, nor their parents had their knowledge in it. La means no. Now it has the alif. لِآبَائِهِمْ, nor to their parents. They don't have any knowledge in it, which means when they said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a son, they don't have a knowledge that Allah has got a son, nor their parents had knowledge. Do you see that? So simply now, all I have to know is this small little word. Letter, actually not a word, it's a letter. La, harif. Right? It means possess, to have. Or, when we said liyundira, okay, now this is a verb, is to warn, right? Warns, or warning now. We added the lam to it, to the verb. It now means because. Two.
I see.
And you're going to see this in the Quran hundreds of times. It's all about pattern recognition. Your job is to memorize the pattern. right? ما لهم. What did we say? He. When you see that, this, that, what does it say it means? Him. Right? Arab does not have it yet. It's either a he or a she. So what do we say? When you see it, when you see a letter like this, that's the ha. Lahu. That's a him. And when we said this, we said that's them. When we said that, that's for her. Right? And when we say hunna, that's the female side of them. Right? So the ha is indicated of someone that is absent. The ha is an indication of an absence, right? But if it's a ha by itself, it's a him. If it's a hum, it's a group. If it's a ha, it's a female. Hunna is a group of females. So it's just about repetition. Bihi. So this is a ha by itself. What does it mean? Bi means in. And a him. And at. Since Arab doesn't have a at. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they said Allah has begotten us. So they don't have any knowledge of that subject. So here the he, the ha, refers to the subject being talked about. ما لهم به من. Min means from, or Ali in this case. Ilm. They don't have any knowledge. Wala, not to. Li abaihim. So with this means a group. Aba means father, and not to, or nor do their parents, fathers have any knowledge in it. Lam, ham, hum, ha, hum again, lam again. Right? We're going to practice this. You think but it is just about, like I said, just about memorizing the patterns. After that, everything is, you're going to see, it just repeats. Every ayah after ayah repeats. So, okay? So, there is not even a single vocabulary word that's hard. Maybe aba. Aba, ab means father. Aba means fathers. And that is a vocabulary word. Ab is a father. Aba is plural. ما لهم به من علم ولا لآباء. Okay? Now we're going to go back to lesson number 2. كبرت كلمة تخرج من أفواه. Alright. Let's see if who's paying attention. I'm going to put this in a different color. Everything I put in green is an indicator. either it's an indicator of something we've been talking about. Either the tense, either the doer, either the object, everything that or everything I did in green.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with you, Shakib. Kaburat. What does kabura first mean? The first three letters is the verb.
I don't know the meaning, but I know ta is the subject at the end.
Which kind of subject? He, she, it, or they. We don't have any yet, but
She.
it's a she.
She.
Ta sakina, if it's a she. If it was this, kaburtu, that's me. Kaburta, that's you. That's the number two. Right? Kabura. Kabur is to do.
Great.
When you say Allahu Akbar,
Great.
Allah is, actually kabur is to grow, is to be bigger. It's, Allah is great, Allah is the biggest, Allah is that. So
Bigger than anything.
bigger than anything, right? Which means the greatest. So kabur from getting older or getting bigger or begin all that. So anything, that's why they call the arrogant mutakabbir.
Yes.
إن الله فلا يطبع الله على كل قلب متكبر جبار. So al-kibriya is arrogance because you feel yourself grow bigger than everybody. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La yadkhul al-jannah." He's not going to enter the Jannah if he has one iota of kibar, means of arrogance. Here, kaburat, it's a big word. So, kabura is to be big, to grow big. Kaburat, but we did the ta sakira. When we put the ta with accentuation, kaburats means it's the subject is a she. And kalimatan, it's a means because we said it doesn't have Arab language, doesn't have it, and it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a huge word. The word is big. So the ta is for the word, but the word is a feminine terminology. We either has feminine or male or female. Meaning the sun is what? Female. The moon is male. We don't have an it. It's either a female or a male. So when you refer to the sun, you refer to it as a female. When you refer to the moon, you refer to it as a male. A word, and you see the ta is
It's a female.
It's a female. So the word is, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that word has got, it's so big. You with me? Kaburat, it's a she. Kalimatan takhruju. We said if you put the ta in front of the word, what does it make it? Come on. If you put
Present tense.
it's a present tense. If you put the alif, it's a what? It's a I. If you put the ta, it's
You.
what?
Right? Isn't it you?
She.
She.
If you put the ya, it's a he. Right? Right? And actually, you could even say that that is a you. تضرب أنت أو تضرب هي. It works both ways.
So what's kaburat?
Kaburat, that means that word, kalima, is a word.
Which is Allah's word, right? That's what it means?
No, them making the blasphemy Allah has begotten us.
Begotten is the
Begotten
is the mighty word.
So that word that Allah has begotten us
Son
is a huge
is kaburat.
word that takhruju means leaves their mouth. That they only say lies. Okay, but we're gonna come. So here, this word is huge. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. They're saying a huge word. Kabura, but the word is big. The word is huge. It's a lot.
I'm kind of confused how we get, even though it's like she is in there. How
She
we get
is the word.
she is the word.
We don't have an it.
Oh, okay. So it's not saying who's saying it.
No, that word is big.
That word is.
It's a passive tense. You could call a passive voice, right? That you could say the word is big, right?
And that word refers to the one that we already said.
Yeah.
That they say that he has begotten a son, which is referring to that word.
That word. Okay. So that word that they were saying is a huge.
It's a huge.
It's too big. Kabura. Now, what did we say? Takhruju. We said now this is a present tense about a she, which back to this word, kharaja is to leave. Now this is your vocabulary word. Okay. Leave. The opposite of kharaja is dakhala, to enter. So I come in, I say dakhaltu. I leave, I say what? What do I say when I leave? Kharajtu. Kharaja is to leave. If I'm the one who's leaving, I say kharajtu. Dakhaltu. So kharaja is to leave the room. Dakhala is to enter the room. Now yesterday, or actually Friday in the class, in the halaqah, somebody was asking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says at'ama. Ta'ima is to eat. At'ama is to feed. If you put the alif in front of past tense verb, it either means it's present tense and I'm doing it, or it may mean that I'm making somebody else do it. So if I say akhraja, kharaja is to leave, akhraja is to make somebody leave. I kick somebody out.
So it's not I leave?
No. So it can be both ways. It depends now on the context. That's why at'ama, that Allah is feeding them. So sometimes you see it, that it changes the meaning. It always, instead of me doing the work, is me making somebody else do the work. Right? Dakhala is to come. Adkhala, if when Brother Shakir wanted to come in and I say come in, that means adkhala, I let him in. So you see how sometimes all you have to do is know the vocabulary, and we're adding just 5 letters, guys. Just 5 letters. And we're making this whole thing too hard. Right?
How long you been doing this?
Since
How
you
long you been doing this?
I have no idea. And you see, that's where the repetitiveness comes in.
I'm just making fun.
But now you see how eventually, once you memorize these rules, that all of a sudden, even with a limited set of vocabulary, now you're gonna actually know the meaning to a precision that is you would not have had before. All right. كبرت كلمة تخرج. We said أفواه. أفواه is their mouths. What did we say? Hum means there.
There.
It's a huge word that comes out of their mouth. Right? How many times we said that? We went through that. Hum. It's them. There. Right? Anytime we see this ha, it means somebody who's absent. Now the question is it a he or a she or a they? Right? It's very easy. You all you gotta do is look for it. Kabura تخرج from their mouth. إن يقولون. You see now قال is to say. Right? Now we put the ya before it and we put the waw nun at the end. What did we say that means? Ya means it's a present tense. Right? And ya means it's a he. But if we did the waw nun, we made it a plural.
They
said. They only say illa kalima. They only say it's a lie. It's nothing but a lie. But kadhib is what? Lie.
Lies.
So that's another vocabulary word.
What's the word?
lie, kadib,
Kali.
kadib.
So, but right now, afwahim, him is them.
Yes.
And again, loon is them also.
Yes.
So it's a repetition.
Yeah. So every time, min afwahim, from their mouth, they always. So even in English, it's a big word that comes out of their mouths. They only say lies. So here, even in English, I said there and they. One is there and one is they. One is a subject, one is an object. Right? Or one is a possessive and one is a subject.
It's like two different sentences.
It is, yeah, in some respects, it's two different sentences. Right? They, it's a big word that comes out of their mouths. They only say lies. كبرت كلمة, it's a big word. تخرج, that leaves. من أفواههم, their mouths. إن يقولون, they only say nothing but lies.
Mouth, the noun is
فم
fam.
أو فاه.
Where did you write it? Fun.
You could say fam or you could fah. Fah.
So how did it become then their mouths? I mean, there
Home.
I know
Home.
home is there,
Home.
right?
It's a plural. Fah is a mouth.
Fah is mouth,
Afwah is plural.
okay. Afwa.
Can you explain this one? يقولون. So he. Okay, it becomes. Since
Ya,
wow, noon.
ya, let's assume the ya is for the absent.
Correct. And it is he.
And it's either a he
And it's
or a
possessive.
they.
Correct.
If it doesn't have this, it's a he. If it has this, it's the they.
So this will take the precedence.
It's a present tense.
Present.
Both of them is present tense, but and somebody who's absent. Now and it's a male. The only question is, so you already know by looking at the absent male, present tense. Three things you could just find from there. Now, wow, noon told us it's the plural side. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So this by alone give you three things. Yeah.
So without ya, if there is no without ya, then it
It
still
will be
become
qalu will be present tense.
qalu is present. Okay. There won't be wow noon, right?
It will be the wow alif or the past tense. The wow is the plural. Whether it's an alif or noon is a different story. You understand?
Yeah.
So here it's a present tense. إن يقولون إلا كلمة. So this told us it's an absent, it's a male, either singular or plural, and it is present tense. And now by the wow noon, now it's a group of males.
Which is they, right?
Now it is they. So we have learned four things from this. So we learned qala is past tense. So now يقولون is a present tense group of males. Right?
I think I get
It's
it.
boring, it is
No, I need to
repetitive,
get more
but,
words like this kind of a.
but it is the same. Any Arabic word. ذهب. Do the same. يذهبون. شرب. يشربون.
يشربون.
قتل. يقتلون.
يقتلون.
Group of men.
Everything.
Okay.
And you're going to see it in the Quran 500 times. All you got to look for is the ya in front of the verb. It's literally more than 1,000, probably more than 1,000 places in the Quran. And that's the beauty. That all you gotta now is just look for it. It's a present tense, it's a he, it's an absent. So it's either a he or a they. It's a male. Right? Okay? Now we come back. So you got few vocabulary words. دخل, خرج, and كذب. Right? Okay, so كلمة تخرج ويقولون إلا كذبا فلعلك. Alright, now lesson number 5.
So it means, though, Tareef, that in Arabic,
So he's going to catch cow.
a small sentence could be, if you want to explain it, that's why B from Bismillah,
Has 7 meanings.
Yes. So he's going to catch.
that's all the way in Arabic.
And the combination of B alone has 14.
So the complete Arabic language is like that.
Yeah.
A small sentence can be translated into.
Yeah, but it gives you all the indication, just like we saw. You saw all the indication.
It's not, yeah, it's,
The indicator. You just gotta look for the indicator. But the thing about it is, like I keep saying, it's scientific. Time and time and time. It's the same rule. يشربون, يضربون, يأكلون, يخرجون, يدخلون, يصلون, يكبرون, يسبحون. Right? All these words you've heard in the Quran many times. يقرؤون. Right? How many times you've heard all these words in the Quran? Right? They all mean the same thing. Of course, you group of present tense, a group of memory. How hard is that? Right? That is the pattern. That's all you gotta look for is the pattern. Once you recognize and memorize what the pattern means, that's all I'm trying to get to you. All right? فَلَعَلَّكَ. All right. Fa. At the beginning, when it gets added to a verb, what did we say it means? And immediate. Meaning in the Arabic language, there is fa, there is wa, and there is thumma. They all mean and. So one and is not like the other and. Fa means one after the other. It means immediate and after. Wa means and, but we don't know who's first or who's last. Thumma means after but not immediate.
Wow, and then summa.
So you are like, even it tells you whether it's, so I say, dakhaltu wa na'im, that we came together, but who walked in the room, we don't know which one first. But if I say, dakhaltu fa na'im, that means I came and he immediately came behind me. If I say, dakhaltu thumma na'im, that I came, but he was a little bit late. Like Shakir was. Right? Fa. So we said fa means an and with subsequent. Immediate subsequent. An and. La'alla maybe means maybe. Perhaps. What did we say? The ka.
Guys, you will.
You may. Like inna a'tainaka. So you remember. You get a brownie.
That's why you write in brown.
Yes, that's good. I didn't even think of that. I made a joke with him last week. That was funny. Or a week before. We were playing volleyball, and he was good. So the ball was thrown. And I reached across the net to him, say salam alaikum. And as we said salam, I held his hand.
I didn't think that
So that he can get the ball.
be careful.
So we kind of we had fun with that, right? So now he gets around. We'll finish these things week inshallah. But you got your homework, and once again, it is all we're gonna do is really repeat. And the faster you try to memorize these things, the easier this thing will become, and the more we move into a little bit more advanced building up your vocabulary. But like we say, it really is not that hard. It is it's a handful. It's less than 10 things you have to memorize. It's just, I mean, how hard it is to memorize 10 things. Alif, waw, ya, mim, shadda, ha, ta, nun, and the waw. 9 things. We always say the waw. It's a 9 thing. 8 things. How hard is it to memorize 8 things? But granted, they have permutations, right? But really, they're just 8 and the 10. All right, let's just call them all 10, just in case I forgot one. 10 letters. Can you memorize 10 letters? Right? If you had to draw on, all right, let's do this homework. Put these 10 and let's create like a multiplication schedule. Let's do this as a homework. Right? Here is the letter. So you got
Matrix.
alif, waw, matrix, right? Nun, ta, mim, all that. And put now all the permutation. So for instance, alif after second letter in a 3-letter verb, it's gonna mean this. Third letter, right? It will mean this. First letter, it will mean this. Right? So first, I mean, just come up with everything that we've been talking about. For instance, the ta, if it comes first, if it comes at the end, if it's a fatha, if it's a kasra, if it's a ta, tu, ti, ta, or tum, tuma, right? Just give me all the, just create, and maybe one of you will be very creative of really creating this kind of a matrix that will help you all memorize. It is really just 9 letters or 10 letters that you just make a matrix of. Can you guys come up with a matrix that will make sense? Right? 10 letters. How hard?
Inshallah.
See, until he said makes sense, I was on board.
Huh?
Since he said makes sense, I was on board.
Well,
I don't know if mine will make sense or not. That's gonna be fine.
but it's we're talking about 10 letters, right? It's a multiplication schedule. It's a matrix. I want to push you hard, but it is not that hard. Just think about it. Just come to next week with a matrix of almost 10 letters and all the permutations. And once you memorize this matrix, the rest is
You have to still choose one letter or one verb, right? Is that how you want to do that? No.
whatever. You could choose kataba as well, right? Choose one. But take all these 10 letters and make a matrix out of it. And just say, okay,
There's
fine.
6. Why did you say 10?
I just
Alif, waw.
alif, waw, ya, mim,
Yeah.
ha, ta, right?
Yeah.
We have it here.
Kaf,
Cup. Okay, yeah, I didn't consider cup.
that is 10. Just go back to my lesson.